Hello, welcome back to the FIDE World Cup Chess Championship rounds. Marshall MRJobe will be here. He is playing Wesley So, a very high level ranked player. Marshall starts off with E4. Wesley responds with the E6 maneuver. A very common maneuver in this particular case. Marshall comes up with the knight, and he decides to take here. Then he secures his position. And if we have a slight weakness right there, but this is protected, so Marshall moves his F bishop to protect that spot. Now, Marshall forces
check
the exchange here.
Check.
And we have a little bit of an issue. But he actually decides not to take the knight. And then
check.
Boom, boom. Oh, now Marshall, what did he do? What did he do now? Did he get himself into a bind? He loses a rook. That's what's called a blunder, by the way, people. Oh, look what look Wesley So did. Wesley So set himself up a blunder of his own right. Here's a check.
Check.
And taking of that queen. Now Marshall still has his queen, by the way. He lost his rook, but he sacrificed it for a queen, which is, of course, a much better scenario. Now Marshall comes up with a knight. Actually, before he does, yes, he comes up with the knight, and then he blocks the knight's ability to come up and grab that spot by positioning his pawn right there. Once again, his rook is in a nice position to attack in all different manners. So let's see what Marshall does next. Marshall actually forces the bishop back. Now, what is happening is Marshall could open up this side, but he could, at this particular point, he was debating on whether or not he should move the pawn up here to try to attack. But that's two moves, and he could also move this up so he could have an avenue of retreat. But he does it anyway. And he falls for it, like the fascist he is. Now, at this particular point, he thought about doing a check, but he thought better of it. He needed to grab the pawn. Oh. So now he's in a predicament, as you see. He needs to guard the bishop, but if he doesn't move his queen, he will lose it. So what does he do? He goes for this particular position. Now Marshall goes for the attack on the knight. The knight doesn't really have any kind of retreat, much at all. Now Marshall's in a bind. He's got to block the pawn from getting to the back rank. So what he does is he sacrifices his rook.
Check.
And his bishop, by the way. Okay, so what's next? Now, Wesley So is positioning himself for a wonderful set of counter moves. It is two rooks and a knight. And let's see what he comes up with. Now, what Marshall really needs to do at this particular point, what MRJobe needs to do, is he needs to move this knight. So let's see what he does. And he forces the move of the knight. He takes that pawn. Checks
Check.
the king. Protects the bishop.
Check.
checks the king. He pins the rook. He
Check.
does this particular thing.
Check. Check.
And now, as you see, with that little flurry of moves, MRJobe has destroyed Wesley So.
Check.
He's protecting the pawn from coming forward. He's now starting to move his queen and his king
Check.
together
Check.
in a coordinated attack on the king.
Check. Check.
And before you know it, it'll be all over with.
Check.
Black resigns.
And Wesley So resigned, as you see. So, once again, MRJobe destroys another grandmaster in his attempt to win the FIDE International. He's now up 10 games to 0 amongst all the other opponents. There actually is, they decided to play 37 rounds in this tournament, and so far MRJobe has got 21 points to Magnus Carlsen in the second place at 5. So I hope you enjoyed this round. The world is enjoying the wonderful play of MRJobe. Thank you.